It's up to politicians to give them reasons to feel inspired and to feel connected.
In the last election in the UK, the Conservative Party had a policy of a compulsory national service or volunteer work for, I think it was a year or year and a half types. Do you think if that's a policy to be brought here in Australia to support the defence, would that work and how will that fly?
I just don't think it would fly. Can you imagine? I just don't think that. I think it would be incredibly unpopular, and I think that whoever proposed that would not win the election, as the Conservatives didn't win the election in the UK either. Be interesting to look at the voting figures amongst young people and see how they polled there. But I think we're in a different world than we were back in the time where countries like Australia had compulsory military service. I think in some ways we're in a better world, in some ways we're in a worse world. I think that young people increasingly just feel disconnected and disenfranchised, and there's good reason for that. And it's up to politicians to give them reasons to feel inspired and to feel connected. So
how would the young people feel when there was a social media ban access? So some parties have different views, but you have banned social media, or you have to have some form of ID to prove that you're of that age.
Yeah.
And you have to provide that ID proof in some way or form. Somebody has to justify all those things.
Social media ban for under 16, I think, is one of the dumbest policies that the major parties have come up with in recent times. I think it sounds good on paper because people are worried for good reason about social media. There are risks and dangers to social media, sure. But banning it for under 16s, I think, A, is impractical. How are you going to enforce that? That would involve very difficult technological things to do. Any 16-year-old who is at least a little bit savvy on the computer is going to work out how to get around that. You use a VPN, simple, problem solved. If they ban VPNs, then that's infringing on everyone's rights to digital privacy. So A, I just don't think they're going to be able to enforce it. B, if they start doing ID checks, I don't want to give my ID to, ByteDance, who own TikTok, Chinese company, or Meta, who own Facebook, American company.
Or
Microsoft, or Google, or any of them. They know enough about me already. I don't want to give them any more information than I already give them. So sharing ID to sign up for social media, I think if that happens, a lot of people are going to have a real problem with that, including parents of under 16.
Young people are okay to give ID when they walk into in Perth, if you are young person and you are frequenting bars.
Yeah, well, I hate those scanners.
They scan your ID proofs, and then they take a picture of you and the ID.
Exactly, I don't like that either. That's bad as well. But I think to do that on a digital scale is, to everyone who's signed up to social media, is even worse. I think as well, what the government have to remember, what the major parties both have to remember, is the kids who are under 16 now, who are getting banned from social media, some of them will be old enough to vote come the next federal election. And so it's only going to reinforce this disenchantment, dissatisfaction that those young people already have with government and with established political parties. So they're digging their own grave. The Labor Party, the Liberal Party are digging their own grave through legislation like this.